Talk about always hard to win in the league, but I saw some frustration throughout the game. When maybe what's eating at you right now about that, but then also getting the win.
It wasn't frustration about the game in totality. It was about things that we talked about that we were giving up, whether it was pressuring a ball handler or getting to their feet. They had so many threes. They were 10 for 20 in the first half, and then the second half, a bit of a different story. So we improved there. These are those nights where you want to be as positive as you can because you got so many guys out, yet we have a standard of play that we want to, live up to. So we never want to lower that standard. We talk about playing 7 to 10. That's our scale, not 1 to 10. We never want to go below 7. And in the first half, I thought we were below that tonight, but we came out in the third quarter and, had a 36-24 quarter. So we responded.
Leading that response was Booker. He had 15 in the third. Just we've seen it over and over, but once again, to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the shot making. I say it all the time. It's what he does, but you can't take it for granted. But to do it on a back-to-back after playing in a tough game last night, and these guys they keep coming. So you got to defend wings that can put it down and shoot it and get to the rim, and then come back down and produce on the offensive end. I put them in a few tough spots tonight just because of the guys we had 2 bigs out there and they were blitzing them a little bit, and that put them in a tough bind. Then we went back to our small lineup, and that opened the floor up for him a bit more, and he just made some tough shots. But that's what Book does.
And then also you went with Torrey to start for Jay, and season high in rebounds, 21 points, 8 of 8 from the field. Could have been going any better?
No, I mean, it was indicative of the kind of year we've had with guys not being able to play and somebody else stepping up, and you don't expect that kind of production, but I thought he had great balance tonight. Defensively, he was covering for a lot of people. He was getting Cam off a bigger guy so he could take him in the middle of the play, which is huge. Then the rebounding, and then when he can knock down shots like that, he was perfect from the field on a back-to-back. Like that's pretty hard to do.
And was just from these 2 games, and obviously going home, and you guys are gonna be on the road most of this last month or so. Just what are things that just in the 2 games you take from it?
I mean, we've shown that we can win in different ways. We've shown that we can win with different lineups. It may be like that for the rest of the year. We're trying to get the number 1 seed, obviously, but we're also trying to just keep getting better. And I think when you have those experiences with different guys in different situations, that helps your team grow. I mean, campaign is it's an education right now that's going to help us when the playoffs come. Landry's been able to play in different spots. Torrey starts, and he just does what Torrey does. So I think that's what I learned from these last 2 games. Last night we had Jay out there, and it was a totally different game. Just one guy out of your rotation changes everything. And Mikal, his ability to play 43 minutes on a back-to-back, and he's not even tired. He's in there jumping around like the game hadn't even started yet. So those are things that come to mind.
Go to Colin Olson on Zoom.
Hey, Monty, we talk so much about the balance on this team, but without Chris and Cam, DeAndre and Mikal have stepped up their scoring a lot. For 2 young players to do that over the stretch, is that confidence for you that you're seeing more out of them?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you go to those guys out of a timeout or when you call their play, I think it gives them confidence. I wasn't as apt to do that earlier in the season and even last year. Now, having been through what we've been through in the playoffs, I realize the value of putting guys in certain situations so they can see what it feels like. And if they succeed, that's great. But the experience, I believe, will help us going forward as a team so that we don't become, 1 or 2 dimensional with Chris and Book.
It seemed like you were getting frustrated with how the game was going in the first half. What was said at the half, and they kind of got this flip because you guys obviously took control of the game in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall we played well. We had a great start. I mean, you can't expect to win every game by 20 or 30. And, after we had a good lead, we always talk about putting teams away, but it's the first quarter. So those guys are hoopers over there. They play very free. And they went out and they made it a close game. And, we kind of ran away with it at the end. But, after the start that we had, I didn't like how close it was at halftime.
Curious, in that third quarter, you guys went on a 17-4 run and you hit 3 threes during that. I think you had 11 in that surge. Just maybe speak to what was working for you during that.
Just getting open shots. I mean, we have a lot of guys that are selfless, that make plays for each other. I mean, you see what everybody did today, looking at the stat sheet. And that's hard for defenses, that wears teams down when everybody's a threat out there and you don't know who to guard. So I got free open looks. And, after that, it was just in rhythm.
Curious, when you're in that mode, is it what's fueling it? Is it anger? Is it, competitiveness? What's fueling you when you get on one of those runs?
Just competitiveness. I mean, to see the things that I say to myself out there and, to my teammates, it's just, you want to find ways to get things going. I've been trying to get to the free throw line more. That hasn't happened. I'm shooting like 1 or 2 a game in a big stretch, which is unbelievable, to me. But just trying to find ways to stay motivated. And, we're building. Chris is out. Jay was out tonight. We're down some men, and, we just want to keep this train moving.
Speaking of being down some men, Torrey Craig, 8 for 8, 14 rebounds, 21 points. Just speak to his performance tonight.
I mean, to come in like that, I don't think he knew Jay wasn't playing until right before the game or, on the way over, and just step right in that role and shoot perfect, defend well. The rebounds that he had, he was all over the place, and it was good to have him back.
Curious, when you look at DeAndre and Mikal, the growth that they've had just in their careers, you've seen it firsthand, but to see it tonight, fourth quarter, it's like, usually you might be in a situation where you and Chris are carrying it, but those two came up with shots and plays. Maybe seeing that and what you're feeling when you see those two do that at the end of the game.
I mean, everybody's growing, everybody's evolving. That's what, this regular season's for. I think last year was our first season together of finding the chemistry and finding what we do and what works well down the stretch. And, just still trying to find those ways, trying to, manipulate the game and, find different ways to win, make winning plays. That's what we're usually yelling out in the fourth quarter. And, it starts on the defense end and we get out in transition, we're kind of hard to match up with.
We'll finish with Kellen Olson and Gerald on Zoom. Kellen first.
Hey, Book. Monty was just telling us that on the run to the finals last year, he learned how much it can help Mikal and DeAndre to be more options in the offense and how that experience can help them. Can you provide the player's perspective as a younger guy, how those extra looks can help going forward?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we need them to be aggressive. We've been preaching that since last year. It takes a lot of pressure off everybody. And, we wouldn't be telling them to be aggressive if we didn't know they were capable of doing what they do. And, they've showed it at spots, more spots this year than last. And, that's just that's the process of getting better and learning this league is, finding your places and finding ways to be aggressive and effective. And, I think everybody's confidence level is really high right now. And, everybody puts the work in, to have that confidence.
Last question will be Gerald.
Hey, Book, to go off of that, you guys are number 1 in assists since the All-Star break without Chris. I know that you guys have been in 0.5 and had that we score mentality for a long time now, but how beneficial is this stretch to kind of put guys in playmaking spots that maybe they might not have been in before?
Yeah, I think it was really important. I think we were saying that right when Chris went down. I always have to start off after saying that by saying we will never be able to replace what Chris does for this team, no matter how many assists we have. but still just trying to find ways, still trying to play together. You know, it's an equal opportunity offense. We all trust each other to the highest degree, and you know, it works out well for us. Appreciate y'all.
Torrey, when did you find out you was going to be starting?
As soon as I got to the arena, when I was in the locker room, one of the coaches came up to me and told me Jay was out. So it was like, "You're gonna start." So I was like, cool.
Now, you go 8 for 8, 21 points, season high 14 boards. What was working for you tonight?
I was just trying to keep it simple, man. Just playing basketball. Take the shots that were available, be aggressive when I could. And yeah, I was just playing a game. So it was nothing I did special to prepare for the game like this. I just do what I do normally and then just went out there and played.
Did you, after the game, did you realize you had those numbers? Like when you looked at the box, were you like, whoa, or did you have an idea you were having this kind of night?
I know I was, I mean, you know, when you making shots and stuff like that, but you don't really think about it in the flow of the game. You just worry about making the right plays and getting stops. But come to the bench, guys tell me to keep rebounding, keep being aggressive. So you're kind of aware of it. But like I said, I just went out there and I was just playing.
How does Mikal play 43 minutes on a second of a back-to-back, and Monty was saying he was in there hopping around like the game hadn't even started yet?
Yeah, Mikal, man, that kid got a lot of energy. he's a burst of energy, man, and I'm not surprised. I think he could have played 48 minutes tonight. I think he can do it a lot. And it's impressive because he do so much for us offensively and defensively, and to play that many minutes and be that productive is super impressive.
Curious when you're within just on the boards, it was because we know you can get on the glass, but are you like, I'm making a more conscious effort tonight, or was it just you got in a rebounding mode?
It was kind of similar to me being here last year, that kind of that role. I mean, the second unit now and from last year is completely different from when I was here last year. So I think I'm usually out there with Aaron and Landry and JaVale and sometimes Ish, and none of us really never played together before. So you're still trying to learn each other, trying to find that chemistry and know when to crash and when to get back on defense, because our transition defense wasn't that good. So I didn't want to crash like I usually do, but coming back into the starting lineup with those guys that I'm familiar playing with, I kind of fall back into the role that I was last year with being aggressive on the boards, taking the shots necessary, and just playing hard.
The coach was saying how, that I guess y'all had talked and it was like, you don't have to shoot all three. So like you could mix it up.
Yeah.
How much did that play a role tonight?
Like I said, I just took the shots that were available, and trying to get on the floor, make plays with guys when I can, and just pick and choose when to shoot, when to be aggressive, when to attack.
How do you play 43 minutes on the second of a back-to-back?
I don't know. I'll just be out there, just trying to go out there, play hard, try to get the dub. Don't really think about it sometimes. So into the game, so I kind of forget. I think coach knows, so you kind of just at a random time be like, you good, and I'm so locked in. Don't take me out. I don't want to get taken out either. So I'd rather have it this way. I'd rather play 40 minutes than 0 minutes. So this is perfectly fine.
So when he's asking you to come out, are you just ignoring?
No. He's just asking me if I'm good. I'm great. Trust me. I'm locked already. I've been out there for about 6 minutes, and we may be on a run or we need some stops. I'm locked. I don't want to get out. So, but he makes sure just in case. So.
I want to ask you about Devin in that third quarter and what you were seeing with him and getting it going like that.
Book just taking over, doing what he do. When we need him then, and then a fourth as well at the end, just ending the game like that. So, I mean, he is, what he does, and we know a special player, and he's just 36. Yeah, he's going crazy. So that's what he does.
I want to ask you about Torrey in the game. He had 14 rebounds, 21 points. Just were you
I ain't worried about the boards. I know he gonna get all the boards. He's thirsty for them. Yeah, but yeah, I saw that when I first came in after the game, and I was looking at the score sheet, and I saw Craig 8 for 8, 3 for 3, and Craig, he wasn't even in the locker room yet, so I was like yelling out loud. I said, Craig had 21, 14, 8 from 8, 3 for 3. Then he was like, what do you have? I'm like, 21, 14, 8 for 8. So I was like, oh, Craig was perfect. And he just walk in there like he was just like he ain't play or something. I'm like, you gotta be a little bit more excited about that. But man, just him playing his game, just being aggressive and going out there hoop. You know, we all can hoop, and he knows that. And him just out there not even thinking, and it just helps, man, because you know what he's gonna do on the other end. So that's already getting taken care of, and him just out there not missing a shot is unbelievable.
So should you have been more excited than what he's making? Like we should have been a little bit more excited about that.
I mean, I was excited. I was more excited for the win, though. Another guy goes down, Jay, without CP, without Cam Johnson, and we come on the road and play against a young, talented Houston team, and just to get a win, that's what I'm most excited for. So
We'll finish with Kellen Olson on Zoom.
Mikal, for these stretches where the team needs a little bit more scoring out of you with the guys down, Monty was saying that the experience last year really taught him giving you guys those extra reps helps. Can you give us your perspective on just how being more involved in the offense last year helps you for moments like this when you're needed more?
Yeah, for sure. That all adds up. I mean, they were talking about a lot just the playoffs and finals about, you know, need another scorer, just in general, just everybody else being aggressive because they're going to try to take out Book and CP. So just everybody else stepping up. And I mean, they're just, my teammates find me, man. I'm out there just trying to win, be aggressive on both ends. And my teammates, they look out for me. So it's not like I'm out here getting them like how Book gets them. So they just finding me and I'm just being aggressive.